I would like to call Independent School District 721 to order. Please note Denny Havlicek is missing. Other board members are here. So please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any open forums? A motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. Motion for the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. Policy Committee?
No.
No. No Southwest Metro, no Special Ed, Community Ed,
No.
Wellness,
No.
Early Childhood,
No.
Fitness and Aquatic.
I'll have it next time.
That brings us to Superintendent Good News.
Oh, we had a lot of good news. Teachers came in today. We also had paraprofessionals doing some professional development. So, yeah, we have all the teachers in this week getting prepared for the classes to start next week. Yeah, we had the new teachers last week. We had, I think, 25 new teachers, which is about average. People ask where that is, about average on the number of teachers, and that went very well. Tony Booth, the Director of Educational Services, done a great job organizing and coordinating all these workshops. So we got the big thing on Thursday is our, welcome back celebration. That will be on Thursday morning with the Rotary. We have our lunch afterwards at Trojan Field, so excited to have that. Wanted everyone to be there. And then that night we have our Educational Foundational first ever social at the Next Chapter Winery. So I'd like to see everyone at that. You can get tickets there online at the website, our website. The other thing, just want to announce who's running for school board. We have Tammy Pexa and Mark Bartuzik, two people currently on our school board. And the other people are Dan Call, Paul Frickman, Gene Schmidt, and Karen Steinhoff are the four others. So we have 6 going for 3 spots on the school board. Next thing is I want to introduce our new Director of Community Services, is Sandy Loxton, and she's just going to give you just brief background of herself personally, and work history, and then just where we're at with things in the community education department. And there's a lot of parts, a lot of moving parts, right, Sandy?
There is.
We're really excited to have her here at New Prague Area Schools.
Well, thank you, everyone. I've been excited to be down in New Prague, and everyone has been so welcoming, and I've been able to take part in a lot of different district meetings and community meetings between New Prague and Elko New Market. And so getting all those pieces figured out with it. So just really appreciate the warm welcome that our office staff and the community has provided. I did hand out just a small infographic that we've been working on. We do have a new marketing person with us as well, because Sherry Egham had also retired. And so Amy and I have been working with, just trying to represent what community education is. And so we started to put together an infographic with, these are some of our main components of it. We've updated the logo to match the New Prague School District logo, also for community ed. And so this is a working document as well that we can change and adapt as we go. But how all these pieces of the pie just meld together to do the work with the community that's so important. So then within that, a few of the main points that we're working with are some of the new things to just try to jump in there. trying to strengthen some of the adult with disabilities programming. So we have a new transitions teacher right down the hall from me that I've been working with, and trying to come up with some social activities that the adults can do here right in New Prague instead of always needing to travel outside the community to do that. We'll also utilize her students in there to help make treats, prepare some of the activities and ideas that we're doing. So that's something that I'm really excited about to get that off the ground. Also, we're working with the FAC, with Heather and Megan to do a healthy living seminar that an open house for the senior citizens. So we're planning that for October 11th. Also showcasing the different classes that community education can have, along with the fitness center and the aquatic center. So it's a joint effort with all of us that you'll start seeing more on. Otherwise, just trying to get to know those groups. I guess I skipped over the part about me. I said it's more important to do the work right now. But I grew up in a small town of Ortonville, Minnesota, so on the western border. And then I taught elementary school for 7 years and was a coach. Always involved with the community education programs from the time I was a teenager, lifeguarding and instructing all the way through. Became an elementary principal out in Canby, Minnesota, which was southwest Minnesota. And so that was pre-K 6, but I was also for 10 years the community ed director. Were part of my duties with that. So really familiar with that work. The last 8 years, I was in Wayzata as the early childhood supervisor. So a big role for me there was to connect the community and get the awareness of the importance of early childhood programs out to the communities and businesses, as well as running our programs within the district. So I think I've had some really good training ground for this, and just really excited to be able to connect with the community as we move forward.
Anyone have any questions?
Welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, Sandy's been very busy, meeting a lot of different people right now and observing, evaluating, and obviously still making some changes as we go here. But we've got a strong community education program. It's one that's been strong in the past and continues to get better, and I know it'll continue to get better under her leadership. So we're very pleased to have her on board. So thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Thanks. Superintendent, is there anything else?
I think I'm out of good news.
That's a lot of good news. All right, so we have a few action items. So we have a resolution relating to the election of school board members and calling the school district general election.
That's correct, and I will, do I have a motion for this resolution relating to the election of school board members and calling the school district general election this October or November?
So move.
Second.
It's been first and seconded. I have to do a roll call for this, so Leo, how do you vote?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Leo?
No, Mark?
Mark.
That's what I meant. Mark?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Me? Yes. Jean?
Yes.
Passes 6-0 with Denny being absent.
And a resolution related to determining the necessity to revoke an existing referendum revenue authorization and replacing it with the new referendum revenue authorization approval, a new capital project levy authorization, and calling a special election and a referendum thereon.
Do you have anything you want to say, or?
I'll start on this
Okay.
one here. Since we met last time you met as a board, obviously I've reached out, we talked about it, but also reached out to teachers, community members, parents, support staff, just regarding a possible operating levy referendum that will be brought to a vote in November. The thing I've told everybody, and I've told you, is that it's vital to balance the financial needs of the district and what we think our residents can afford and support. So I got feedback on this. It was overall very positive. People understood the need, but as far as the tax impact, wanted to go lower than I think we originally talked about, and that was to keep it under $30 a month if both questions passed on a $300,000 home. So there will be 2 questions on the ballot. We agreed on that last time. And the numbers we came to Sandy Lynn after discussions with her recommending keeping the revenue received from each question similar to each other. So what Matt's going to be reading here, my recommendation is to set the first question as a $375 increase to our operating levy. Tax impact would be about $17 per month on a $300,000 home. If passed, it would increase revenue to our district, local revenue to about $1.65 million to our budget. The second question, the technology levy, would be set at $1.5 million. If you might remember, we talked about $2 million before, but I lowered it to keep it again between the two, and you add the 2 up to keep it below $30. So that one is about $12.25 per month. So the total tax impact on a $300,000 home would be $29.25. So under the $30 a month threshold. If these questions would pass, it would increase our budget. Increase would be about $3.2 million, about $600,000 less than we discussed at our last meeting. And that was with a $400 increase and a $2 million question in the technology levy. So I think by doing the $375 increase and the 1.5, it would greatly help our budget for the foreseeable future and would still result in minimal reductions with our budget. We'll still have to make reductions, but I'm confident if this passes, it would definitely stay out of the classroom. Any questions, comments?
I do have, you want to go first? Do you
Yeah,
have
no,
anything?
I don't have any additional
So I
comments
have
to
just a
make.
couple of things I have. So I'm not sure if this needs to be updated, but on page 4, it has estimated referendum market value of 1.5 million, but I think it should be $250,000 in the house. So on page 4 on the resolution that we're,
No, it's $1.5 million a year.
but it says estimated referendum market value of the home.
Oh, that, okay,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah. I think it should be 250,000. I just want to make that adjustment before we would pass this. So on page 4 of the resolution that we'll be looking at passing.
Right in the middle.
It's the chart there, and if this has to go out to families and something, I want to make sure
Oh.
it's right.
Right. Oh, there, oh, gosh, yeah.
I hope that was the number, but that's-
Yes, thank you, yeah. Boy, I tell you, a lot of people looked at this, attorneys
I
and
noticed it last week and I
financial
read
planners.
it, and I should have said something earlier, but
Yeah, no, we can get that number changed.
Thanks for
Okay.
catching
That's
that.
fine, yeah. Thank
Okay.
you for bringing that to our attention. Boy, we had about 8 eyes looking at this, of course, and
and then otherwise, I agree with what I don't know. I missed last meeting, so I wasn't too vocal. I was on the road, but I agree. I think that it keeps us by lowering this amount. It kind of keeps us in focus, and it keeps us making sure we're managing our expenses strongly going forward. One thing that I would propose to tweak, and I don't want to it's not to change the numbers, but it's really to change the duration of the levy. And I know that would change some of the numbers, on here, but I was thinking, I don't see the 375, that need, going away, or else there's a drastic change in our funding stream, right, from the state. So right now, we're proposing to do it for 6 years. I would propose we do it for 10 years. I know we can always go back and switch things later on, but I would propose we move that to 10 years to max that time out so we don't have to go back to the voters. Because again, I feel like the 375 we need that, and it's not going to necessarily go away after 6 years. So I would propose that. And then the other piece is, I'm not necessarily against the 6 years on the tech levy, just because I was reminded last week when my middle schooler, and all the devices that we're purchasing and all the new technology, like compared to 10 years ago, we're spending millions of dollars on technology, right? So if we're gonna do $1.5 million there, I would almost propose that we counteract the 10 years, maybe make it be 4 years, and then we revisit it, and maybe if we have to increase it. I know we can increase it any time, but I know that it's human nature to wait until we're there, right, before we force ourselves to make a decision on something. So, I don't know, what are your guys' overall feelings on changing the duration of any of these at all?
But historically speaking,
We had done 5, and the last one we did was 6.
We did 5 before that, then we did 6. So,
Have we ever made a change to one? I mean,
Yeah, we've revoked it and replaced the last 2.
So not the 6er one that right now we're doing.
No, the 6th one we're in right now, yeah. The 6th one we're in right now, and we have one more year on that, but this would revoke and
Oh,
replace
sure.
that.
right.
So we are doing it a year early?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
I'd leave it at 6.
just me personally,
Sure.
I think you throw 10 on there, and that kind of will put people on edge,
Sure.
especially if they've been paying attention, and knowing.
Okay. No, and again, I probably should have brought up the last meeting, but I understand everybody's, I'll support 6 years, but I would also support making it even longer, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say, so.
I,
I think 6 years looks a little bit more modern. It doesn't look.
Sure.
I agree with Leo. It gives the voters more power because we're asking for a lot of money, so at least.
In 6 years, we have to go again. I mean,
Yeah, and we got
sooner
to
time.
we got to substantiate what we did
Sure.
too. So
Sure.
I think it's more, work with us.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think.
all right, yeah,
But with the tech levy, we can, or with, that portion of it, because, like you said, the cost of everything is going up and it's not going away. We all know that. But that one, we could in 4 years, if we're like at the 3-year mark, if we're like, hey,
this is
Need
not
to-
nearly enough.
yeah, we're falling way short, we can go back, like at 4 years.
That will be
Yes.
easy enough to show too.
Right, exactly, but we can shorten
Yeah, and
that one.
the 1.5 million isn't enough for all of our technology expenses already, because we're,
Right.
we're 1.9 million or so. So, I'm not sure it really matters from that perspective, because it's really not enough just to cover our technology expenses,
Right.
is what I'm saying. So, yeah, whatever the board prefers, I'm sure we could make a change. We could make it we could make a motion to change it if we want to. It's really up to the board.
Okay.
and I think, we can see what happens down the road here too. I mean,
Well, and we're currently suggesting or staying consistent 6 years and 6 years
That-
on both.
Right.
So
6 and 6 on both, you're right.
might
And
be a little less complicated. I mean, people won't.
Right.
I can see, I mean, most districts, what Matt's bringing up, a lot of districts, probably most districts do a 10-year,
On the tech levy, for sure.
for sure, but
Yeah.
I mean, what Denny said last time is he thought we should keep it consistent to what we've done in the past, and that's what Leo mentioned too. I can see both sides,
Yeah,
so.
right.
But we've already,
My only concern about 6 and 6 is that now in 6 years, we have another desperate, we might have a desperate need then again to go back, and what if we
both.
fail at the same time? And I guess maybe just as a board, and again, the board changes over time, but maybe we make a commitment to look at this sooner than wait until the 6th year again, because I would just hate for us to have both of these on the ballot at the same time again, where we're asking people for a,
Normally, we'd ask a year sooner though. Because of
Sure.
COVID, we
yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
Right.
And it's also, the tech levy's a brand-new levy. And can look again in 3 years and say, we tried this, here's our expenses.
And we can prove it out,
Yep.
and,
Yeah, I'm
in
a-
3 years.
I'm afraid if you add 10 years to it, plus then you ask another question for more money, all of a
Sure.
sudden eyebrows are gonna raise quite a bit.
okay. Nope,
That's
I
my
hear you guys.
experience in being in this community.
Yep. Okay,
I'm
And
good
I
with
think
it.
we are being very conservative
right.
with our number.
We are.
If we'll have charts and everything, what we get locally compared to other districts is quite low.
Right.
What we're going out to the voters with compared to other districts, I'll just throw out St. Michael, Albertville, Faribault,
Northfield,
I mean, is quite a bit, is,
it's not even in the same
yeah,
ballpark.
so,
And we'll have good
If we
charts.
Throw in there that we're not also making cuts, I think that carries.
absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Because we got to do both.
Right.
But I feel we can make budget reductions without, again, you got to protect the core of the classroom. But I think there's things that we can do that will sacrifice a little bit, but we'll show that we're running a tight budget.
Yeah, we'll also have charts about, how we spend our money as compared to other districts, and so we'll show both sides of that.
All right, do we have a motion for this resolution so I can read it? We're ready?
So, second?
All right, it's been first and seconded, a resolution relating to determining the necessity of revoking an existing referendum revenue authorization, replacing it with a new referendum revenue authorization, approving a new capital project levy authorization, and calling a special election and referendum thereon. This is a roll call, so Jean, how do you vote?
Yes.
Me, yes. Tammy?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Leo?
Yes.
Passes 6-0 with Denny being absent.
Okay, I am to a motion for the high school curriculum. How did you say that?
Habitudes.
Habitudes?
Habitudes.
Yeah, this is something that'll be used in advisory for high school. It's just leadership concepts, just a reinforcement to the curriculum on leadership for our kids, and the need for that during these times right now is important, so.
Okay. Nicole, do you have anything to say about it, or?
Yep, you did receive some samples of this, and this did go through to the district advisory committee, but this is really just a curriculum that students would be exposed to about 10 to 15 minutes once a week, really focused on self-leadership or character education. I'm happy to answer questions if you have any.
Anyone?
I thought the video on the board docs was
Right.
very
I thought it was
self-explanatory. I
great.
thought it was very good.
Yep, I would
I
agree.
think it's something good for everyone.
And it walked through everything and explained how they were gonna go about it, so and then you could watch the videos, so
Yep,
it's very self-explanatory out there.
It is very user-friendly.
yep. Okay,
A motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes, opposed, sorry. Passes 6-0. Approval of substitute rate pay.
Okay.
Okay, tonight I have the proposal for all of our sub-rates for the coming year. This was a difficult one to put together just because of all the issues we've had attracting and retaining subs throughout COVID. And I think we have some creative solutions that may help us. First of all, like I said, we've had a really difficult time during COVID. We had a hard time before COVID, and COVID really exacerbated that problem. And so we need to try to find a way to kind of reset and try to build up that sub pool again. One good thing is that the COVID quarantines and absences should be substantially less this year. There's no required quarantines for exposure or you're more handling it like an illness. So that will cut down a lot of absences, we're hoping. Just kind of go back to pre-COVID type of absences. And it's important that we be fair and appreciate our current subs, but also that we have to be able to attract new ones. Our current subs have been with us through thick and thin, through COVID, so we need to make sure that they are appreciated. First of all, teacher substitutes. I have some competitive data there. The Metro, the average is 164, but the median is 150. We're considered Metro just because we're in Scott County, but I also look at South Central Minnesota, and that average is 157, but the median is 145. South Central has Mankato and St. Peter in there, and they pay quite a bit. Mankato pays $200, so that raises that average. If we increase our pay from 145 to 155, we should be the highest in the area based on our current data by $5. We always try to stay just a little bit more than what our surrounding districts, Belle Plaine, Shakopee, Jordan, TCU, these, the areas right there. And then one other thing that I'm proposing this year is try to pay a little bit more for hard to fill days. Days before and after breaks are a lot of teachers want to take that off, but a lot of subs don't necessarily want to work those days either. So we have a hard time, principals running around in classrooms trying to figure out how to cover everybody. So saying we pay $175 for hard to fill days, it's only 10 days in the district. Before and after MEA, Thanksgiving, holiday break, President's Day, and then spring break. Let's see here, then we have the 4-day ones. The reserve sub, we're gonna move from 22 to 23. One thing I want to point out is that we're going back to pre-COVID 2 reserve subs. We've had 3 or 5 the last 2 years. The first year we were able to pay with COVID. This last year, with federal funds, we didn't really have any extra federal funds, but really to keep the ship afloat, we had to do that. So, but this year we're gonna start at 2 reserve subs. One for elementary and one for secondary, and we could always add if needed. But we, feel that we're hoping that COVID or the absence rates kind of go back to normal. Okay, any question? Oh, and then we have the bonus for every 20 days like we've had, going to 155. And then we have also recommending a bonus for working in one classroom for 5 consecutive full days. So this is really aimed at teachers that take a week off. They take 5 days. It might not be Monday through Friday, it could be Wednesday through Tuesday, but it's really best for kids to have the same sub in there all 5 days. And a couple of districts in the area do that they pay a small bonus if they were willing to take those long absences. It gives them a little incentive to work 5 days in a row. A lot of subs don't like to work 5 days in a row because the reason they are a sub is that they like flexibility. They don't want to work every day. So we're hoping this is a little bit of an incentive to make themselves available for these positions. So really what I tried to do is put maybe a little bit more money. We could go high on the daily rate. We could go, really high. But I felt it was better to try to put some of the money into these incentives to try to fix the problems that we're having. The day before and after breaks and these 5-day absences. So that's what I'm proposing there. Any questions on the teachers? They're the most complicated.
If
Yeah.
if somebody takes extended leave, like for medical reasons or whatever,
That's a long-term sub, so we get a licensed teacher and we hire them.
Okay, so that they're a short-term hire then and not a substitute.
Right. Yep. And we have that happen every year. We have teachers out, yeah.
The 2 full-time subs, are they paid hourly, or is it are they part of the contract, or what is the?
They're paid hourly.
Okay.
And we don't guarantee work every day. We typically, during COVID, we tried to keep them busy just because we didn't want them to leave. We had to, and honestly, during COVID, the reason we created these reserve subs, I want to back up a bit, is to deal with these last-minute absences that come in. My kid threw up in the middle of the night. I threw up in the middle of the night. And so it really wasn't to fill in classrooms in advance. Last year, really what we ended up doing was using those reserve subs to fill in for COVID quarantines. And that really wasn't the intent of it. So I want to try to move back to the original intent of those reserve subs. Any other questions on teachers?
And we're starting with 2. I mean, you never know what happens. I mean, we might have to increase that, we might not.
Yeah, we could, but I wanted to start low. One thing we don't want is for reserve subs to be sent home a lot, because then they're not gonna be happy. We wanna strike a balance there to make everybody happy. Try. Student rates, just propose that we bring that starting salary up to $11.50 an hour. We don't have a lot of students that work year after year, but we do give a 50-cent raise also, every year they come back. This does not apply to the FAC because those are lifeguards and swim instructors, and those are different kinds of positions. This is mainly maybe in kids' company. Sometimes we have some student workers in custodial, so it's very, very few positions this affects. We have the adult light and sound technician. We currently pay $26 an hour for this. We have not increased this in 3 years. I looked back. It's not a lot of work, but it is very important that we retain that person and again show our appreciation for that work that he does. And then early childhood screening staff for Mary, again proposing just a small increase to that rate. Paras, custodial, clerical, nurse, and van drivers, I'm proposing a step 1. You gotta remember, the current rates are from like 2 years ago. They were step 1 like two years ago, so that's why the increase looks so large. Nutrition services, we've had a real issue attracting and retaining those just because they're like 2 hours in the middle of the day. It's not very much money and not very convenient. So we decided to work on a step 2 with that. And then the CDL bus driver, over the last 3 years, we've paid more than the starting salary. We've had some bus subs that have been with us for 10, 15 years. And we're gonna say that's a step 3. And then lastly, this has been thrown around. We've been throwing ideas around about this, and some districts are doing this, just trying to build our sub pool. And so we're proposing a $50 referral payment for any employee. You could be a sub. You could be any employee that refers a sub in any category. And the payment to the employee would be made if the referral substitute 10 times in 90 days. Craig Most said it best when he said, $50, if he can find one custodial sub that'll work 10 times in 90 days, that's a real, would be a real help. So just, not a lot of money, but I think especially even for subs, that if they refer a friend and they work, they would get that $50 as well. It's kind of aimed more for them, although all employees are eligible.
10 times in 90 days?
No, that's 3 times a month, 3.5 times a month. That's not, no. The opportunities are there. It's not like there wouldn't be opportunity. Yeah. We played with that number a lot, believe me. And we decided on 10, that's 3 times a month for 3 months. Any questions or thoughts on that referral pay program?
Very creative.
We're just gonna try different
It
things and
works.
see what works. I don't know, even some of the teacher stuff, we'll see what works. And if it doesn't work, we can always bring it and change it. It's just, we need to try to do some creative things to try to get these sub positions filled.
We had, at our professional development day 2 weeks ago, Tony organized a class for substitute teachers and brought in 3 principals. 3 of our principals spoke to them and answered questions, and then we brought Sandy over too and talked to him. But we had, I think, 18 substitute teachers at this, that came to this class. And, Tony sent an
ones.
email to, we sent an email to all the substitute teachers that we had in the past. So we had, I think, 18 that showed up, and they gave feedback to not just Tony and the principals, but also to Sandy in HR too. And she ran some of these ideas by him. So I thought that was pretty good that we had that many substitute teachers there. It was on
New ones,
we got 2 new ones from that.
2 new ones, yeah.
So that was a Tuesday morning, I think, or something like that. So, yeah, so we got some new ones that want to do it, so we're excited.
I
One
think,
thing- oh,
I
go ahead.
think I do human resources. I'm recruiting every day,
Oh.
and These are great, out-of-the-box thinking, and hopefully it will get us the people that we need, because it's a tough market right now for anybody.
Giving some incentive, you know, beyond, it's like.
It's
oh,
hard enough just full-time, the full-time part, the job itself, then get the substitutes too, so.
And our employees are tired. Some of our employee groups, I mean, they work really hard, and when they don't have extra help in the kitchen, they have to work, I mean, they work hard.
Yeah.
They work short almost every day in some of these kitchens. It's not easy.
Good.
Okay,
Any other questions or discussion? And I have a motion to accept the approval of the substitute.
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. All right, resolution to make a permanent fund transfer from Fund 1 to Fund 20.
This is unusual. I've never seen this before, and we'll probably never see it again. Last year, the state of Minnesota made quite a bit of money available to districts to do employee COVID testing. We chose not to do it on site. It created, you know, a lot of challenges for staffing and everything. But at the end, so we had to spend it by June 30th. And we hadn't spent much of ours, but then it came to the surface that districts that are self-insured for medical insurance, if that plan paid for employees to test, we could reimburse that self-insured plan, self-funded plan. So they didn't give us a lot of time, and we were able to get the information and make the draws, and so we got, $43,000 to refund our self-insured plan. COVID testing cost our plan a lot of money, honestly. They're pretty expensive, yeah.
So this money is coming from the general?
Yeah, so we have to receive the funds in the general fund. We can't book the revenue into Fund 20. We have to book it in Fund 1, and then we'll transfer it, yeah.
All right, this is a resolution to make a permanent fund transfer from Fund 1 to Fund 20. I'll need a first and a second.
So moved.
Second?
Been first and seconded, and this is also a roll call. So Leo, how do you vote?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Matt? Yes. Passes 6-0. Denny absent.
Okay, and a memorandum of understanding with early childhood special education support specialist.
Yeah, so this is a kind of a hybrid position, and it doesn't fit neatly into any current bargaining units. And we have several positions like this in the district. And so we wanted to create a special MOU for this person and for the year and see how the position goes. And then if it's successful, we might go another year with it. And, you know, right now we had an early childhood special ed teacher posted for, I don't know how long, no applicants at all. So this was one way we could help support that classroom.
A motion to approve of understanding with early childhood special education support specialist.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.